How you guys doing?
Very good. Utah always has a reputation for their defensive line and being physical. What's kind of the key to moving the ball against a team like this?
You know, you got to try to match their physicality. You got to be really sound in your technique and fundamentals. You know, they do a really good job. They've always done a really good job for a long time. So this would be a great test. It'd be a great test to be a hostile environment versus a really, really good team. And you know, I'm excited to see our guys go out there.
Does the offensive line take the same approach in the first half as they will in the second half when you get Jake back?
Yeah, no, I don't think we're not going to have two different game plans. I mean, that'd be really hard to do. You know, we're confident in Throck and what he can do there at center, and then with Jacob in the second half, I don't think much will change. Throck can move over, but it'll be a good work week for Throck in a lot of ways. I think we've already talked about him as being a Swiss Army knife, so he's doing an awesome job.
We've seen from Stephen Jones in his development. It seems like last week he was really, really good for you guys when you got to come in and play a lot of snaps.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to, I mean, you see a true freshman playing, starting at left tackle. I mean, just like when Panay was there. I mean, that's such an understated role that I think that a lot of people really don't understand how hard that is, you know. And Stephen did an awesome job. He'll continue to get better each day with practice, you know, and he showed us that when we had him, you know, down as we developed throughout the course of camp and throughout the development of scrimmages on Fridays and stuff like that. And so, every practice and every play for him is going to be something that's going to give him a step forward, and we're excited to see that.
When you make it just your offensive line to handle all the adversities, because I think at one point in that game you had just one guy, Shane, playing his original position at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
It seems like your group's been able to kind of adapt on the fly pretty well.
Yeah, again, I think that's an underrated chemistry that a lot of people aren't really familiar with, but. You know, when those guys move, they're used to being around each other and hearing calls from one guy and another guy goes the other way, and that's a new guy coming in. I mean, the ability that our staff's done and had to put those guys in multiple positions and for those guys to click together says a lot about them, you know, and I think that's going to pay big dividends. You know, you just don't know how fast that'll come, but they've done an awesome job, you know.
Apologize if this is repetitive at all, Marcus.
That's okay.
Philosophically, this seems to be a strength versus strength situation. You guys like to hit the ground and pound a lot. Your defense is obviously the best run defense in this league.
Yeah.
So what have you seen from this run defense that you can be facing?
Well, I mean, you hit it on the head. I mean, this is a really, really good defense. You know, fundamentally sound, tough, big, fast, physical, and we pride ourselves in trying to get to that point. They've done that for a long time there. That's been a lot of their culture, and so I think it's going to be a great test for our guys. You know, I think that this is really where you have to apply your technique and fundamentals when you're playing a great opponent. And I think it's going to be a great test for our guys. You know, going in this practice this week, preaching how physical it's going to be, and I think is going to be a great test. You know, I'm excited to see our guys go out there and get after it.
You guys did really well on third down and short, fourth downs, especially prior to Saturday. I know there was a couple of short, you know, come up short situations, but you guys were almost perfect practice before that. Cyrus seems to be the designated goal line guy and short yardage guy. Travis was stopped a couple of times. He stopped the Wazoo at goal line. Is it a fair question of who's the better short yardage guy, or why you? I know Travis was perfect prior to Saturday. I'm not trying to knock him.
Yeah, no. I think I get your question. I think that when it comes to short yardage, you know, you're in situations where there's certain packages we know that one guy's done it for that while, and Cyrus is doing an amazing job, you know, and we've been, knock on wood, been really effective, and we did a good job without the game plan of keeping us in those situations, and that was a big part of what we've done so far this year, and giving us in situations that are easier than third and extra long. And I think short yardage situations, we've proven that we can be in those situations and do it last week. You know, we had one hit in backfield there with Dye and had another thing, but regardless of that, I think that we're still going to count on those guys to take on one defender, you know, and I think it's just my hat's off to Cyrus as a young guy. He's done a really nice job. I just still think Dye and CJ can have a one-on-one and still win that one-on-one. But we've got to also be creative there and protect the quarterback and not do too much stuff there in that regard. But we'll continue to make sure, and that's been a big ownership of what we've done on offense, is make sure that we understand short yardage and goal line and try to really take ownership of that. So anytime we don't get it, we're pretty upset about it because we take it personally. You know, that's gonna be something we've hung our hat on.
Brooks James had a couple more carries on Saturday, was able to hit that 54-yard runner. Is that kind of what you're hoping to get him in that situation a little bit more to take advantage of his big play abilities? Oh,
God, yeah. I mean, anytime you can get Tony in a seam or in open field, I think is something we all would love to see, you know, and running between the tackles is is something we're doing now, and to see him hit that off tackle play in a seam was really nice, you know, and we all know what he can do in the open field. And so again, it goes back to, and someone asked that a couple weeks ago, you know, how's Tony doing? We rely on Tony, and we're gonna roll with Tony, and he's gonna do a good job, and he's got to continue to believe and trust in some of those plays that are a little bit muddier than maybe what he's used to. But that was awesome, man. That was a really big statement for him and for our O-line to see that, to hit that big run that way, and just the execution of a play. That's the biggest thing. You got to hit it in the right spot and believe in it. He hit it, and it split, and he was gone, and that was nice to see.
The numbers are starting to.
Mitchell's on a historic pace for a receiver for at Oregon. He really credited working with the staff and film this offseason. What was kind of the focus for you guys to elevate his game, get him where he's playing at right now?
You know, Dylan's done an awesome job. We spent some extra time kind of working through some different concepts and moving him around. I think that's what people are seeing. And again, I think it's just it's two-parted. Number one, it goes to the players first. You know, they've got to have the ability to do that, and he's got some special ability. I think harnessing and developing some of the skill set he's got, route running and working in space and being more technically sound in certain areas is really a credit to a young player that's developing, and I think he deserves more of the credit than anything. And then us being able to utilize him in certain situations and find matchups and do things has probably been what we've done a little bit more this year, and it's paying off. And the other guys we still continue to count on too. I mean, those guys have big. Schooler had another big catch. Johnny's had some big catches. Red's had some big catches. I mean, those guys are doing a really nice job, you know. And Dylan is Dylan's a part of that group that's really come along, you know. And I think he's got him and Justin have a good little thing going. That happens. That's chemistry at that position, you know. And if you have that, you got to be more thankful you have it, as opposed to more, oh gosh, is it just him? I mean, that's many guys wish they had that.
Oh, sorry about that, Coach.
That's okay.
Have you noticed teams changing their defenses because of how effective Dylan's been in that connection with Justin Herbert? Have they started to make adjustments to try to account for him? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, they've tried a few things. I think that they definitely have. The answer is yes. I mean, you think you have to, you know, but on our end, we've got to make sure that we account for that too. Because I've been on situations where that guy's rolled to every time because he doesn't move as much, you know, and then you're out of a game plan. So as you see him in a couple different areas, you know, a couple different sides of the ball in the slot, 2, 3, 1, and so I think that's helping us not have. It's hard to locate him sometimes, you know, which has helped us, I think.
Both him and Justin have talked about their relationship and that they criticize each other at times, often constructive criticism at times. Yeah. Have you heard and seen what that looks like, and can you compare that to any other relationship that you've seen where that's kind of a dialogue there? You
know, I think more than anything, it goes back to the bond that a quarterback and receiver can start to develop over just the course of a career, you know, or the time, and we've pushed that. You know, we've really pushed that to all our guys. Of getting together and being together and developing that bond, and I think that's just time together, you know, and you've got to give time to it too. And I think Coach has done a great job of making sure that we give time to our guys for them to learn about each other and be around each other and celebrate each other and work together. And once you get on that same page, you can see when it starts clicking, it's pretty good. And you know, we got to continue to push that forward. I think that's when you start really developing good chemistry amongst a team, and we're only 9 games into this group, you know, so I'm excited about those guys continuing to practice together and be together, and the relationship off the field, you can see. I mean, they hang out different, they talk different, and that's good, you know.
From your perspective, do you think it's good that Justin has that one consistent look to go to, or would you prefer he kind of spread the ball around a little bit more amongst his receiving and tight ends?
Both. Is there both A and B? Because the reality of it is, I think on any team, would you love to have a guy that you really count on to make some explosive plays, or not? The answer is yes. And then would you love to spread the ball like we've done before here already, to multiple guys, and count on Breland and count on Kano and throw it to Red and get it out to Schooler on an under and get it to Johnny on the in-cut? Yeah, the answer is yeah. So I think, you know, how do you do all those things? How do you do them all at once and still be effective without saying, hey, we're just not going to throw this way? You know, I think that the answer to that's both. I think that having a guy you can rely on, they have a chemistry, you wouldn't in any way impede that right now. And then making sure that, you know, he understands that there's other guys and other concepts that are definitely a goal, you know, just because you got to be careful about them, you know, isolating them and doing things maybe on Dylan where we got to be able to play other guys too. So definitely spreading the wealth is important for us, and I think that's a big part of what we're doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.